Hey everybody, Tony D with a late night hot take. Sorry, I had a big day. Didn't get back in time to do my hot takes, but I'm going to do them before I go to bed. I'm like way behind, so let's just burn through this. Not to rush through it, but this is an important hot take on the reaction to the president getting sick. Here's Ilhan Omar retweeted, by Aaron Mate. She says, why would Biden delay or suspend his campaign when we know Trump would have had ads up by noon today ridiculing Biden for testing positive? Get it together. So in other words, be mean. Well, see what that gets you, Ilhan. I think you're cheating in your current election. Project Veritas seems to make that very clear. I hope you lose your election. I really do. Because I don't think you're a good person, and I don't think you're good for wishing doom and gloom on other people, or assuming Trump would have had ads up making fun of Biden for being sick. And here's a comparison that doesn't really work for me either. This is the, we'll call it the hate thread on Twitter with the hashtag #DieTrump, which of course Twitter's fine with. But somebody posted this: when Trump got COVID, Joe Biden pulled out all the negative ads out of respect and basic human decency. I don't know if that's really true. I did see an extremely negative ad comparing Trump to the bad guys from World War II. I don't know if that's been pulled. Certainly you can't pull things off the internet, but maybe. And then they said when Hillary Clinton got pneumonia in 2016, Trump mercilessly mocked and attacked her for it, saying, quote, she can't even walk 15 feet to her car, as his rally crowd cheered. See the difference riding with Biden? No, I don't see the difference, because when Hillary Clinton got sick, she denied it. She said she wasn't sick. There wasn't a big announcement that Hillary Clinton got pneumonia in 2016. There was an announcement she went to the doctors and was recovering nicely, even though she on the campaign trail stumbled quite a bit, and one time had to be carried into her van, basically. So, no, I don't think it's the same. And I don't think Hillary Clinton would have stopped for a second. But, you know, I don't believe Biden's really pulled the negative ads out of respect for human decency or whatever. He may have just done it because it would have made him look bad. So don't get all high and mighty, Twitter. You're definitely not the sort of people who should be saying how wonderful and great you are, how morally superior you are, just because Trump is an a-hole. But yeah, this hashtag, you know, it's so smug and arrogant. Here's some other people who, you know, they hate Trump, and or they certainly have their opinions. But here's one: evangelicals, listen up. God is sending you a clear message. Don't ignore it or suffer the consequences. You know, is this a person who's religious too? I doubt it. You know, it's just. And just people, you know, repeating "Die Trump," hashtag "Die Trump." No. Someone says, is Twitter comms serious about this? How many death threats have women, trans, black, brown, Barack Obama, Ilhan Omar, and AOC gotten that went unattended? F you, Twitter, and I hope F45 dies. You know, tweets that wish for hope or death, seriously bodily harm, or fatal disease against anyone are not allowed and will need to be removed. This does not automatically mean suspension. Look, Twitter, you keep trying to moderate things, and you suck at it, because obviously this guy has just said wished bodily harm. And here's his tweet. So where are you? His tweet's not down. You can't consistently do it because people just reword things, or they don't care about the suspension. They just make another account. It's, you know, it's ridiculous. Let's go to the top. Um, yeah, this is another one. Uh, a guy posting a meme. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. I mean, it's not good karma to wish that on anyone. Um, it's just so Trump can be an a-hole on Twitter and incite violence 409 times a day, but I will get banned for saying I hope he dies and burns in hell. Hypocrisy. Twitter, die Trump. It's not the same. And the metric by which these people are measuring Trump, I think, is unfair. The idea that okay, he said he doesn't want to let MS-13 into the country because that particular gang, and he said this unartfully, and he didn't even say it on Twitter, I don't think, but that the gang is full of rapists and murderers. And people immediately, because of the media spin on it, think, oh, well, he said that about all people who are coming across the border. No, he didn't. He said that about the gangs who are coming across the border. And it's a real problem down south near the border, in case you don't know it. So, this idea that, oh, my God, he's such a terrible person because he wishes this on people. No, he doesn't. I mean, where is the proof that anything Donald Trump has said has incited violence against anyone? And in fact, during his rallies in 2016, it was the Democrats who sent infiltrators into his rally to cause problems, to stir up trouble and fights. And they did. And they were exposed. I mean, how many times does the hypocrisy have to hit you in the face? These people are caught up in some sort of moral panic, and they just don't seem to be able to extricate themselves from it, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to pick on any of these people. They're on Twitter, and they're entitled to their opinions. But I think it's just bad karma to say things like, "I Trump." Here's a guy. Are we supposed to feel sympathy for Donald Trump? Nah. I hope he has the same strain of COVID. It killed my Aunt Tina and up to 200,000 Americans. Again, I don't know why you would hope for this. First off, you're going to get Pence. If you think Pence is going to be better than Trump, I think you'd be wrong. Pence is, probably your typical Republican, which means he'd probably go right back to doing all the bad stuff the Republicans are doing. Trump did pass, prison reform, and he was good with the economy. I'm sorry your aunt died. I mean, that's not good. And it's not good that 200,000 people died. But you have to put it into perspective. Back in 1968, we had a pandemic that killed, I believe, 160,000 people. And that was when we were 200 million in population. Now we're like 330 million. And yes, we have had 200,000 deaths. But first off, it's probably not the most. China probably got into the millions. And second, as a percentage, it's actually less than the previous pandemic. And who knows? We may have done the wrong thing by locking down. We may have been better off by allowing people to get sick to build up the herd immunity. I mean, this is something you can't stop. Again, 2-week incubation period, no symptoms. It's nearly impossible to stop this virus. You can take some precautions, you can mitigate it, but at the end of the day, it's probably unstoppable. I mean, they cut off traffic to China. They closed things, and it still got here. I mean, nobody's completely immune, and it only takes even if you lock it all down, it only takes one infected person coming in that would start the whole thing up again. So, these die Trump people are just, in my view, a bit too possessed. It's fine to have an opinion about politics, but to wish death on somebody, it's just terrible. And this is another one. My friends and family reaction to news about Donald Trump, and they're dancing. It's a happy day at CNN. The news they are looking forward to. CNN will talk about this all day, and also add their anti-Trump bias. Oh, well, that's somebody speaking against it. Good. Yeah, here's another one. Oh, this person has pray for Trump. Good. But then they have die for Trump. I don't get it. And today's Republican Party, rich people using religious people to convince poor white people that compassionate people are out to get them. I don't consider the Democrats compassionate people, as a party. The Republicans, these are all tropes that aren't true anymore. The Democrats are rife with rich people now. They're very elitist rich people. They're just a different kind of rich people. The idea that everybody who's a Republican is religious, also not true anymore. And the Democrats do have their zealots. And part of the problem, I've always said, limits. The Democrats fail to put limits on anything. If they drew a line in the sand and say, cross this line, you're considered too extreme for us, that would work. That would help them. But they don't. They refuse to do it because for them, there are no limits. They can do anything. Okay, well, you're about to meet a brick wall this election. You're going to lose massively for it. And your credibility is going to be shot. So badly shot, you'll be unlikely. This is going to carry on not just in this election, it's going to carry into next election. Okay? So mark my words. You're gonna lose badly in 2020, then you're gonna lose again in 2022 in the midterms. Oh yeah. And it'll be from all the crap that happened in this election. Because people aren't going to forget very soon that you locked this country down and then refused to unlock it because it was politically expedient for you to do so. The people of Michigan will not soon forget Governor Whitmer and what she's done to their state. She's still putting COVID patients into nursing homes. Still. At least in New Jersey, I think it mostly stopped. And I think it stopped in New York too, but still doing it in Michigan. Is she brain dead? I mean, that's horrific. You can't. These are the most vulnerable people. This is the one place you should put the patients. Anywhere else would be good. So, I think, anybody who would retweet this hashtag really should think about whether or not they're that high and mighty. You're just not that high and mighty. So, there's a lot of people here that they say, oh, I hope Trump dies. I hope Trump dies. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. A lot of people saying Trump lies and blah, blah, blah. It's just, and who knows who infected? I mean, nobody knows. Phil Murphy is trying to determine it using his contact tracers, who nobody will answer on the phone. So good luck with that, Governor Murphy. I'm sure you'll crack the case sometimes in the not too distant future. But I don't wish Trump ill. I wish you and the First Lady a speedy recovery. Also hope Hicks. And that you get back to business soon. And I hope we don't have anything to worry about come, the next couple of weeks. But it's 2020, so who knows? All right, I got to wrap this up and get to bed at some point. I will see you tomorrow.